This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We got this groovy podcast for ya. Reviewing crazy tunes or quoting Twain and Sting and Dune. We'll bring ideas to share like bonus points for extra flair, cause it's the frickin' Dave and Shecky Show. This is the Dave and Shecky Show. We're bringing you this groovy review. We might preview movies, bake some bread, or drink some smoothies. So come on, have way too much caffeine. You roll up some rivers, I'll reference some Raffy. This is the Dave and Shecky Show.
Hello and welcome to the Angry Butler Show. I'm the Angry Butler.
The Angry Butler Show. Do you feel like I'm forcing you to be my butler or something?
I'm the Angry Butler.
Whose butler are you? You're not my butler.
Whose butler are you? Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear that I'm not somehow this terrible person who is forcing you to be my butler.
What are you talking about? I don't know.
You're the Angry Butler. There's only you, me, and a couple of four-leggers here, so I just need to put it out there.
That has nothing to do with you.
Oh, okay. Why are you the Angry Butler?
I'm not anymore. I was for a second.
What brought that on?
I don't know. It's spur of the moment.
I see. Well, welcome everyone to episode 7 of the Middle-Aged Cool Kids Super Terrific podcast featuring your pals, Dave and Shecky.
There you go. That's better. When I say it, it takes too long.
Yeah, but when you say it, it's funny. When I say it, it's just like, oh, well, there you go. There's that woman.
The angry Butler. As a Shining reference.
Oh, all right.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, we'll leave it for that for now. So this last week we did the watch along of Murder Cycle. I don't know if it was a hit or not. I thought it was successful. I thought it was fun. Did you like that?
It was a terrible movie. Quite enjoyable, but horrible movie.
It was a terrible movie, and a lot of those people, a lot of the main characters, like the CIA guy, what was his name, Wood?
Oh, you mean the wonderful actor by the name of Mike Vachetti.
He never acted in another thing again. The girl,
unlike Mike Buschetti.
The girl also never acted in another thing again.
Well, I think what we have there is another thing in common with The Shining.
What?
The director was such a maniac that he traumatized these actors, and they never wanted to have another thing to do with acting, just like Danny from The Shining.
I feel like that probably wasn't the case. The guy who directed the movie is a well-respected cinematographer.
A.K.A. pedophile.
No, that's not true.
Oh.
That is absolutely not true. But if you look, he's got a rather long and somewhat impressive cinematography.
He's not working with Lou Pearlman by any chance, is he?
No. With who?
Lou Pearlman.
No, I think Lou Pearlman's dead.
Well, see what happens?
Oh, also, just a little side note, it is Take Your Dog to Work Day.
Well, we take our dog to work every day.
Yes.
Because we work at home.
Yes. Hi, honey. All right. So we did the watch along. We will do more watch alongs in the future. But last night we watched. What was the movie?
Last night we watched Ready Player One.
That's right. Ready Player One. This is what we're going to talk about today. Directed by Steven Spielberg, based on a novel by, I think his name is Ernest Cline. I'm not sure. Something. My apologies. And the novel is fairly new. It's not like, more than 10 years old. So I wanted to watch it. Did you know anything about the movie going in?
Nope. I didn't know anything about it.
So you knew nothing. I knew it was video games. And
I didn't know anything about it. I don't even know to this moment any of the actors in it. I have no idea who any of those people are.
I think you know Simon Pegg.
I don't know what that is.
All right. So, anywho, Ready Player One is a movie about a not too distant future where people are poor. Things are bad. Things are bad all over. It's hard out there for a pimp. People are living in the stacks, which was, I thought, really interesting, where they just had like trailer homes stacked one on top of the other, kind of like the inside of a parking garage in New York City, how like, they stack the cars up, but they were, instead of cars, it was trailer homes. And
they referred to it as the stacks?
The stacks.
Like the burbs.
Like the burbs. It was the stacks. But I thought it was very cool.
That was interesting.
I could see that being a real thing. It seems a little dangerous, of course, but it also seemed very cool. And so most people are gaming. It's kind of like Second Life, and it's kind of like WoW and Final Fantasy. It's the premier virtual reality, alternative reality place online. The Oasis.
Yes. Kind of like the internet.
It's connected to the internet, and it's like, say you have Second Life, and you have everybody on Second Life, and they've discovered how to make, because on Second Life everybody, you can buy your own piece of land, an island, a sim it's called, and you can make it whatever you want. And some people do have some sorts of games on there, but they're not great. They're a little chunky, but it's very creative. But imagine if you went into this world where, you had the World of Warcraft planet over there and you could just warp to it, or you had the Star Trek planet over there, and everybody could pick their own avatar, and you could be whoever you wanted, dress however you wanted. And it's kind of like, it's happening. It's been happening for decades, or a decade or more. But just now imagine that everybody's in it, and they're making real world money and losing real world money. It was kind of great. I loved it.
That doesn't seem like it's too far off from reality.
No.
Or what will be.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it was written only 8 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah. How do you think Spielberg gets a hold of that? Does he just read books? Or does someone say, hey, this is the one? Or, how does he end up directing a movie based on a book that was just written?
There's a few ways it could happen. I'm sure he's got, a team of people that are just scouring books all the time, new books all the time, especially certain genres. So that could happen. Or, there could be a production company that saw the book, bought the rights to it, and said, you know what, let's approach Spielberg. So, it could go either way. Yeah. I'm sure that guy who wrote the book.
Did you read the book?
I did not read the book.
I wonder how it compares.
I'm sure it's great.
Is all that imagery and all that stuff in there?
Yeah. The special effects. So the movie starts with a guy who's, his name is Wade, and he's, plugged into the Oasis like everyone else around him. And living his life, and, there's challenges that the creator of the game has passed away.
Who was that?
I don't know who he was. I don't know his name. I didn't know.
That wasn't Will Forte?
It wasn't Will Forte.
Oh.
It was not Will Forte. The creator of the game passes away and leaves like this challenge hanging out there where, you can get 3 keys around Oasis and solve the mystery and yada, yada, yada. You own the company. And I guess he had died years before, and no one had ever even found the first challenge. And this guy, Wade, is starting to figure it out. Along with, there are tons of people who want to figure it out. And there's even a company whose sole mission is to find these things and become the owner of this company. Like that's all they do. They have employees just working night and day to find these 3 keys, solve the riddles, and, become the hugest company in the world. So there's that backstory. But honestly, for me, the special effects, the in-world special effects they were fun. It was just fun.
Yeah, those special effects were good for sure. The ape and King Kong stuff was insane.
The first challenge was a race, and the race was through New York City, but it was not regular New York City. It was New York City with every, monster movie that's ever been attached to it also happening within the race. It was just really well done, and I don't know if the novel is like that, but visually I was just blown away from the get-go.
Yeah, that was crazy. Absolutely. The movie's got a lot of interesting surprises. I was pretty entertained for sure. It's not my kind of movie, but I liked it.
Yeah, see, it was definitely my kind of movie because I love gaming. I'm not necessarily great at it, but I like to do it. So it was very cool to me. There's a lot of little Easter eggs and nods to other games, other movies in there. I mean, there's no way you catch them all the first time. But there's also this whole backstory where the creator who passed away, who started this, quest or whatever, he loves. Get it? It's a mosquito. Just kill it.
I don't see him now.
He's behind you. Oh my God, Dave. He's hanging out near you. Oh, there he is. Get him. Okay. Dave has killed the mosquito. But the guy who created the game, who passed away, who started the quest, was a real fan of pop culture references. So this movie is chock full of pop culture references. And the first one you get really is the soundtrack.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was so rocking and so familiar to people our age. I can't imagine anybody was disappointed in the soundtrack.
It was a good soundtrack for sure. It was pretty classic rockish.
It was classic rockish.
The Shining stuff in there was pretty interesting. How did they get the rights to do that?
I mean, it's Spielberg. I don't know that anybody turns Spielberg down. Really. Why would you?
I don't know.
He's at a point, I feel like they spent a lot of money on stuff like that. The pop culture references were great. The Shining, towards the end, they superimpose these kids, their avatars, into The Shining, and
they don't really show any of the characters from The Shining.
No. Well, Jack
Nicholson is in it.
And the lady from Room 237.
And Scatman Crothers isn't in it.
Well, somebody's feet are in it, right? In the maze.
They show someone running with an axe, but they don't show his face.
Right. You're assuming it's him, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. But
yeah,
I feel like it was incredibly well done putting them in that movie. It was.
Yeah, that was well done.
There was so many times during this movie I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. And I wasn't kidding. I really was digging it. Even if some stuff was kind of like you knew what was going to happen.
Well, it was a little Galaxy Quest-ish or something. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy-ish. Like it was like this cartoon adventure to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I thought that was better for sure. I enjoyed it more than your average that kind of movie.
Yesterday, after the movie was over, Dave said, well, that's better than Star Wars. And I said, which one? And you said...
all of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know Dave doesn't sound enthusiastic, but he really did enjoy this movie.
Well, it's enjoyable, but it's hard to put my finger on it. It was enjoyable for sure.
There were so many things. I could see you wanting to watch this movie, not you, Dave, but just the general you, wanting to see it a couple times just to see all of the little things that were in there, the little references, the little pop culture references, like a lot of the avatars were, they would just run by on screen, but you would recognize them from a video game or something. The references to the Atari games. Uh-oh. I think we might have a deer outside. Mags is at the window, getting ready to bark.
What was the last thing that Spielberg did before this?
The last thing that Spielberg did before this? I guess I don't know. Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, then you take over and chat with our fine friends.
I just don't know.
What don't you know?
I kind of lost hope in Spielberg.
Why was that?
I don't know. It just seems like he's fluff. Just a little fluffy. Or too serious.
Like, what was the last thing that you did not like by
I don't
Spielberg?
know. He lost me with Schindler's List, basically.
I didn't see Schindler's List.
It's just, who needs this?
Yeah, at some point, I said to myself, I'm not going to the movies to be depressed.
Oh, and then also, I don't like him reissuing movies with scenes changed. I don't understand that.
I guess
Removing guns and stuff, making the cops look better, or what did he do? Making them more... I don't even remember now.
At the end of E.T., the FBI agents all had guns, and they airbrushed them out, or not airbrushed them out, something them out, whatever the movie magic was, and they had them holding walkie-talkies.
Why? That's insanity.
Because the anti-gun shit or whatever.
Well, don't change that.
Oh, okay. So this is what he's done.
Why don't they replace the lightsabers?
Since we saw Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, right? You saw that with me, or did I see that with someone else?
I think we saw that.
With Shia LaBeouf?
Yes, yeah. That was horrible.
It was not very good. So he did that, and then he did The Adventures of Tintin. We did not see that.
What the fuck is that?
I think Tintin was like an old school cartoon comic.
See what I'm saying? Fluff.
Like 1910s or something. He did War Horse, which I didn't see, but I saw.
War Horse?
It was a play. It was a very successful play.
Right, I remember. Mm-hmm. With the big mannequin, puppet horse.
I saw that. It was very loud. It was maybe the loudest play I'd ever seen.
Yeah, you saw it on Broadway.
It was at Lincoln Center.
Well, that's impressive.
Well, somebody else paid for the tickets.
That's even more impressive.
Yeah. He did Lincoln, which we also didn't see, but was supposed to be really good. Bridge of Spies, which we didn't see. Big Friendly Giant, which we didn't see.
This guy just pumps out the hits, doesn't he?
The Post last year, which we didn't see.
Say we've given up on it.
No, a lot of people saw The Post, though. I think it was like, I think it was nominated for Oscars. I don't know.
What's that about?
It's like newspaper, The Post.
Ah.
Meryl Streep, who can't stand up fast enough to give a standing ovation to kid ass rapist Roman Polanski. So I'll not ever see anything she's in. Ready Player One, which we just saw, which is...
She's in a movie called Streep, or she's in The Post?
She's in The Post.
Gotcha.
Ready Player One, which is from this year. West Side Story coming up.
West Side Story?
Uh-huh.
A remake of West Side Story? Did we talk about that?
I think we may have talked about it, but
that's going to go over like a
show.
Fucking Led Zeppelin.
What?
That's going to go over like a Led Zeppelin, I tell you.
I'm not... sometimes I think the classics need to stay the classics because honestly, I feel like they're going to go so social justice warrior with this. It's going to turn a lot of people off. I feel like the social justice warrior, the injection of social justice warrior type things into movies is turning a lot of paying moviegoers off.
How the fuck do you remake West Side Story? It's one of the most stereotypically racist movies ever.
You don't. You just let the other one be, and that's it.
Oh my god. Why don't you remake F Troop?
What was it? What was the name of the Hakawis?
Was that it? I don't know. I just know they were all fucking Jewish and Italian actors.
The Indians?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. It was all, it didn't matter.
Let's remake Hogan's Heroes. Fucking
Seriously. Back in the day when we weren't so fucking, not even they weren't so PC.
I mean, they could. Why don't they remake Archie Bunker, which they thought they were doing with Roseanne? Well, look how that went.
Yeah, and now they just approved to have Roseanne without Roseanne.
The Connors? Are you fucking kidding me? They're conning us. That's a big con.
Yeah.
The Connors. They don't even hide it, do they? They're addressing the studio.
Yeah. I don't. I hope it fails, and I hope they lose a shit ton of money.
Of course it's going to fail. It's going to fail instantly. Fuckers. If they gave Roseanne enough time, that would have failed. It would have played its course after a couple of years. Now this is going to play its course in 6 months.
Not even.
They're stupid.
Not even 6 months. No one's going to watch it. All right. And now he's currently working on an untitled Indiana Jones project.
Well, at least he keeps at it. You know what I mean? It's not like he sold his shit to Disney, did he?
No, that's your other friend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least he has that going.
I mean, he's done, a shit ton of stuff to be really proud of. So
yeah.
And I Ready Player One was.
That was a lot better than I expected.
I didn't know what to expect, but I thought it was great. I thought it was a great movie.
Definitely good special effects. What was that, rated PG-13 or something?
I don't even know. They said fucking in it once, which was also some, obscure reference to that YouTube video.
That's funny.
They incorporated Chucky the doll and they mixed it with the YouTube viral video where the little kid says, "It's fucking Chucky."
That
or
was
what does
funny.
he just say? Fucking Chucky.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what that's in reference to, but that's how they did it.
So I think it probably was PG-13 since there was only one F word in it.
Yeah, it could have been a little less corny in certain regards.
Well, see, this is what I was thinking as I was watching it. This is just another Goonies type movie. It's a movie, I think, aimed for kids that adults can also like.
All right. The problem they have, though.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
The girl was too pretty in real life. That doesn't make any sense. She should have been Melissa McCarthy. And that would have been absolutely hysterical. Or she should have been H, and both characters were her. And it was a black lesbian type woman. That would have been funny.
I agree. When she was like, so he's friends with this person named H, who I pretty quickly thought this is a girl of some sort.
She looks like a female KRS-One.
Yeah. So, but he also has this like love interest, Artemis, who's this girl who's a well-known, I don't know, gamer.
Artemis?
Artemis was her name, her in-world name.
The drummer for Lynyrd Skynyrd, also Artemis.
Well, probably not a coincidence. Just kidding. Of course it is. But anyway, so he's saying, they're on a weird little dancing date, recon mission in World, and they're dancing, and he, professes his love for her and that he wants to meet her in real life. And you know what? When you're in gaming, you never say, "I want to meet you in real life." No one wants to meet you in real life. But he says it to her, and she's like, "Oh, you'd be disappointed. I don't look like my avatar." And, no one looks like their avatar. That's why we have avatars. But then they then we meet her, and she's perfectly lovely. Perfectly lovely. And they try to, like, I want to, I'll say the word ugly her up, but I use it air quotes, by putting, like, some sort of birthmark on her face. She's still perfectly lovely.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Birthmarks don't make you unattractive.
What is that? She was like Winona Ryder or something.
She was really pretty.
Ridiculous.
There was no way they were going to ugly that girl up. It was really ridiculous. So.
And who was the kid? What's his name?
I don't know.
He's an actor?
I guess he is. I've never seen any of those folks before.
Yeah, I like that better.
That you didn't know them, right? Yeah, because you're not focusing on the on that.
I'm glad Jeff Goldblum wasn't in it.
I'm actually never glad when Jeff Goldblum isn't in a project because he's always
Did Spielberg do The Fly? Was that him?
I don't know that. Did Spielberg do The Fly?
No, right?
I think it's like, isn't it like John Carpenter or something? No, that's the thing.
One of the Demis?
Lovato or Moore?
No.
Oh, Jonathan Demme?
Yeah, or Tad or whatever the fuck his name was.
Ted.
He has a
Ted.
brother.
Yeah, I don't know who
One of
did
them
The
dead,
Fly.
or both of them.
I don't
know.
think it was Spielberg. I'm not going to. I wouldn't bet on it, but I don't think it was Spielberg.
All right, well then.
And also the other voice that we did recognize right away, and even whatever he was saying, it was just hysterical to me because it was him.
What was that?
T.J. Miller.
Oh yeah. That was
T.J. Miller, whose in-world name was IROC.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Wasn't there another one named Z? IROC Z? What the hell?
Z. Percival's nickname was Z.
Percival's? That sounds like some sort of synthetic opiate.
He was the kid. That was
Yes.
the Wade kid.
Gotcha. So IROC Z is in the movie.
IROC Z is in the movie, and they had this one of the characters show. When you meet him in real life, he's an 11-year-old Japanese kid, and he's like, "So what? I'm 11." And that's, when you're playing these games and people are calling you the worst names ever, it's usually the 11-year-old.
You'd think so.
Honestly, I always do think it is somebody who's like really young and not someone my age, because how would you even have that kind of energy to just, lambast people in a game?
I don't know. Unless it's like Nick DiPaolo or something.
Yeah, I don't see Nick DiPaolo playing video games.
Anthony Cumia does.
He plays Battlefront.
So, but he probably yells at 11-year-olds.
He might. I don't, but I don't play those games. I don't like first-person shooters. I'm not a big shooter person. I like to, because in those games you don't see your character. You know what I'm saying? All you see is the gun you're carrying. First-person shooter means your point of view is you. And so you only see your gun. You don't see yourself. So I like when you can see yourself and you put on the cute outfits and you change the color of your hair, all that girly shit. Like, that's fun for me. And also I like casting spells because I'm a girl. So on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you give this movie?
I'd have to give this movie about an 8.5.
An 8.5. And on a scale of all of his movies that you know of, what's your favorite Spielberg movie that you would give above an 8.5? Or is this your favorite one?
Let me just refamiliarize myself here. We're talking Jaws, right?
Jaws, yep.
And then Close Encounters.
Close Encounters.
And then we're talking about
Raiders.
E.T.
Would you say?
E.T. Raiders of the Lost.
Raiders?
I don't really like Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't really like E.T.
Oh, you don't?
I don't really like all that stuff.
You
It's
don't like
alright.
E.T.?
Not really. A little too corny for me.
Twilight Zone the movie?
Twilight Zone the movie's great. I like that way more than E.T.
What about The Color Purple?
No, can't stand it.
Empire of the Sun?
I saw The Color Purple on a class trip. It's horrible.
You did on a class trip?
Yeah. I don't need to see Whoopi Goldberg spitting into someone's fucking sweet tea, or was it Oprah? One of those two.
Whoopie.
I don't want. No, that's how you make your claim to fame.
Whoopie.
No.
He did the movie Always that I don't know that you've ever seen.
Always.
It is one of my favorite Steven Spielberg movies.
I guess I have no idea what that is.
It's got Audrey Hepburn in it, in one of her last performances. It's a remake of another movie that I believe had Spencer Tracy in it, where a pilot passes away, but his ghost is still at the. He's like a fireman pilot.
It's a remake of the same title?
I don't know. It wasn't Always. It was something else, I believe.
Gotcha.
But it's very romantic, very boo-hooey. I really liked it. It didn't do ridiculously well. I'm not sure why. But I really enjoyed it. It's got Richard Dreyfuss in it. Hook. Did you see that one?
No. Yes, yeah. I think it is. Wait, is that Dustin Hoffman?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I like that. But that's, he's already in the fluff zone by then.
The fluff zone.
I just like Close Encounters and Jaws.
This.
I think Jaws and Close Encounters, and then he could just stop.
What about Jurassic Park? The first one.
Nah.
The one that changed everything.
Fluff Fest.
Fluff Fest.
Yeah, it's just, it's all popcorn and fucking summertime.
Saving Private Ryan.
Ugh. See? Fluff or way too serious.
Okay.
Spielberg
that's not
for
fluff. How about a movie that made me cry and I could never watch it again? AI.
I didn't mind that movie. But
Minority
I didn't love it.
Report. Minority Report. That's based on the Philip K. Dick.
Minority Report, that's good, but he's already lost me at this point, so I stopped watching his stuff.
Catch Me If You Can. I didn't seem to love that one.
Catch Me If You Can. Is that with Leonard DiCaprio?
Lenny the Cap, as you like to call him.
Lenny DiCap, yeah, I like that. But that's fluff, too.
War of the Worlds.
No.
Another Tom Cruise.
Is that a remake of...
Yes.
Of the classic?
Of everything, yes. Yeah, I mean, I would have to say, out of all the Spielbergs, my favorite is Close Encounters, and I would give that a 10.
Close Encounters. Jaws, come on. Jaws is absurd. Jaws doesn't get any more classic.
I mean, and those two are right next to 75 and 77. I would say Close Encounters is a 10, Jaws is a 9, and I would say Ready Player One is an 8.5, 8.75.
Yeah, it's right up there.
Almost a 9 for me.
It's very good, especially for this time, in this day and age of movies.
Yeah, there wasn't like a, you know what I mean? It's like there's always been a little. It wasn't very social justice warrior, I mean, the rich guys were.
Could have been worse.
The corporate, fat cats were the bad guys, but that's okay. That's not,
So am I to understand the guy who was the head of, or who was the main evil guy for the corporation was at one point the head of the Oasis's intern?
Yes, he was an intern for that guy.
Gotcha.
I don't know if he was the head of the IOI or
no, he was like the head guy, he was the head spokes guy.
He got hired by IOI because he said he had inside knowledge of the creator guy, but he really didn't. But that was all they got.
And we don't know who that person was either. It's just a coincidence that they hired all these no-name actors.
I don't know that they're no-name. We just don't go to the movies that often, so maybe they're fucking popular as fuck, and we just don't know. Let's see. Let's click on these and see.
How is there no star in the movie? I don't even understand that.
Ty Sheridan is the star.
Who the hell is that?
Parzival. He's also known for... He's been in 20 things. He's in the upcoming X-Men movie. The Mountain, The Night Clerk, Deadpool 2, which we haven't seen. Friday's Child, Ready Player One, All Summer's End, The Yellow Birds, X-Men Apocalypse, Detour, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Yeah, he has a good agent.
Someone's pushing him.
I think you're right. I think he's got a decent agent because he went from, I don't want to say 0 to 100, but he went to about from 20 to 100 pretty darn quick.
What's the night clerk?
The Night Clerk? It's not out yet.
Who stars that?
Voyeuristic hotel clerk becomes the subject of a murder investigation.
Anthony Perkins is not available.
Let's see. Anna de Armas is Andrea. She seems cute. Ty Sheridan is the second lead. Helen Hunt is the third lead. Oh no. Fourth lead.
John Leguizamo.
Yes.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Helen Hunt and John Leguizamo?
I can't take it.
Well, if it's going to be a creepy person, it might as well be John Leguizamo. What does he play?
If he's not the...
What's his title?
It just had a name.
John the Creep.
Yeah, exactly. John Leguizamo plays Johnny Espada.
He's an actor.
Oh, God. I'm an intern. So, yeah, I guess the lead was... I don't want to say he's a total unknown, but he was a total unknown to us. That's for darn sure. And I don't know who the young lady was either.
Yeah, it's a movie full of unknowns, I tell you.
Yeah. I mean, her...
Wait a second.
Wait.
The woman who played H, I think I've seen her in some stuff.
Lena...
Simone.
Waithe?
No.
Waithe? Waithe.
Waithe.
Waithe? Are you sure? What if it's not?
Waithe?
Uh-huh.
Waithe.
What if it's
Time
what
waits
if
for
H
no
is
fun.
silent?
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Wait, who is that? Which
She's
person is
been
that?
She's H.
Yeah, tell me what she's been in. I think I remember her from like maybe 15 years ago.
No.
No?
You're wrong. Her
Wait.
first thing is from 2014.
Yeah, see, 15 years ago. What? Her first thing?
Yeah.
What has she been in?
She was in something called The Comeback, 1 episode. She was in that show Transparent, 1 episode. She was in a show called Master of None, 10 episodes.
That's Aziz. That's where I've seen her. Aziz Ansari.
Oh, is that his show?
Yeah, she
okay.
plays one of his friends.
There you go. There you go. Well, so these were people who have been around, but we didn't recognize anybody except for T.J. Miller and Simon Pegg.
There you go. T.J. Miller, biggest name in the movie.
Well, Simon Pegg's a pretty big name, too.
Who is he?
You don't know Simon Pegg?
I just don't. I probably do. I just don't know the name.
Let's see.
Sounds like some sort of actor from the 80s.
Let's see what he's best known for. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End. He plays Scotty in the newer Star Trek movies.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you...
Then I do, but what did he play in this? How come I don't even know what he was?
The curator. Ogden Morrow.
Yeah, nope, didn't recognize him.
He's been in 91 things.
I just...
Mission Impossible. I'm trying to think. Star Trek Beyond. Star Wars The Force Awakens.
But
Mission
really, it
Impossible
seems like there's no like leading name in this movie. Maybe T.J. Miller's the biggest name.
For us, I think T.J. Miller's the biggest name. But we like T.J. Miller. We think he's funny. We listened to that podcast with, what's it called? Was it
Cashing In with Cash Levy.
Cashing In with Cash Levy.
And T.J. Miller.
That's
great shit, but he's kind of gotten a little self-destructive recently.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know what? The truth of the matter is that the Me Too movement has gotten so watered down that now I hear a Me Too story and I'm frankly...
Yeah. That's true.
I feel like, yeah, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't.
But the most recent thing he did was he called in a bomb threat on an Amtrak because he got in an argument with some woman. So that's not Me Too. That's just him lunatic.
Oh, he's just incorrigible.
And about a few days before that, he was on broadcast with his train whistle. And he was saying that whenever he goes on trains, he likes to blow the whistle at each stop, and it pisses people off. So I'm sure he instigated something with the person who he called the bomb threat on.
Oh, me.
And now he's got a federal offense on his list.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, because you're calling in a bomb threat, a fake bomb threat on a train.
Yeah, especially in this post 9/11 world.
Then again, I think his defense is, they tell you see something, say something. So he says something, and now they say he's calling in a fake threat.
Oh,
so
did he think there was a real bomb? Did he think there was a real bomb?
Who knows what he thought? Who knows if he was out of his fucking mind? He was probably on those goddamn edibles.
You think?
Probably. Why wouldn't he be? He's always espousing the edibles.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
The edibles are a little too strong, I think.
A little.
I don't know. I haven't partaken in edibles. I mean, I made my own brownies once, and this was 20 years ago, and I got so high I got scared and just laid down for like 10 hours.
Yeah, edibles give weed a bad name.
Weed is not...
Amateurs fucking hitting the edibles, causing fucking mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Stop with the edibles, you weirdos.
The edibles and then the Zolofts. Between the two of them, we're heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, there's a reason they call, assassin. It's named after hashish. There's a reason, because they fucking get all high so they can go kill people.
What's assassin? What are you talking about?
Look up the origin of the word assassin, and it ties directly in with hashish.
Oh, it does?
And these people would get really stoned on hash, and then they would kill people, because they couldn't do it unless they were stoned out of their minds.
Did you make that up?
I am not making it up.
Okay.
Hashish and assassin are from the same origin. These fucking Middle East lunatics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they're fucking high on the hashish.
High on the hashish.
So, it's just like you said. You make a psychotropic lunatic.
Yeah. Honestly, the Selexas, the Zolofts, they do something to your brain where it's like a switch in your brain that makes you pretty close to being a sociopath, where things that should bother you don't. And I guess after 9/11, a lot of people went on them, and now they'll put you on them just for almost any reason. Even if you're a middle-aged lady whose menopause is causing you to be over emotional.
Well, that's if anyone needs it. It's going to be that person.
Well, you know what I mean? I'd rather be over-emotional than...
Under-emotional.
I mean, and that's pretty much what it does. It makes you under-emotional.
Let me ask you something. Back to the movie.
Oh.
Who chooses that music? Was that music in the book? The movie starts with Jump. Did the book start with Jump? How could it not? If the whole thing's about taking a leap, how could they just make that up for the movie?
I'd have to read the book, but no, I would think that Spielberg has... I would think that Spielberg has a definite idea about soundtracks, and he probably has a music guy when he says, I want these 20 songs, and the guy either makes it happen or he comes back and says, well, 10 said no, and then he picks other songs or makes a phone call, and those songs, when you use
Gets Irving on the line.
Gets Irving on the line. I mean, Jump, my guess is it was $1 million to use that. And to
they
use
used
it
the
in
whole song, basically.
They used the whole song, and they also used it in commercials, which is extra money.
Uh-huh.
So...
You'd think it was Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler just loves Van Halen.
I know.
He's their biggest fan, I think.
That's good for them.
Yeah. And Angie Everhart as well. But...
Wait, Angie Everhart's their biggest fan?
Well, she's one of their
or their
biggest
stalker.
She might cross the line. You never know. But I feel like the soundtrack was amazing. Like, the soundtrack I thought was a 10 because I didn't hate any song on there.
Yeah, it's pretty good soundtrack
It
for
was
sure.
fun as hell, and that's why I'm saying I think it's a very kid-friendly movie, like a Goonies, but they also put other stuff in there for people like my age to love.
I mean, this movie was like 10,000 times better than that one we saw.
Which one? Murder Cycle?
No. Murder Cycle, it was about twice as good as Murder Cycle. But it was 100 times better than that superhero mess we just saw.
Oh, you did not
Where they
like
just crammed everything into it.
the Avengers Infinity War?
Right.
You hated that movie.
Yeah. That was nonsense. That was utter nonsense. At least this movie had something for everyone.
This movie did have something for everyone. I agree. I liked it better than Xfinity Wars 2.
Who directed Infinity Wars?
Some dude we don't know.
Yeah, let's keep him that way.
Directed by Anthony and Joe Russo.
Oh, wait a minute. We know who they are.
We do?
Yeah.
How? How do you know?
Joe Russo.
How do you know Joe Russo?
No, we don't know who they are.
You son of a bitch.
We know who's the other guy.
Anthony Russo and
Who's
Joe
the guy who
Russo.
became the staff writer for the WB, who also worked on Everwood. What's his name? Joe something.
Oh, that guy. He does a...
What's his name?
Oh, gosh.
Joe Bella? No, Joe.
Greg Berlanti.
No.
Yeah.
Different name. Greg Berlanti. No, someone else.
Hold on. Greg Berlanti now, he did Everwood and has done everything else.
Greg Berlanti?
Greg Berlanti, he went on to do everything at WB.
I guess that's the person I'm thinking of, but I swear it was a different name.
No.
So it's not him. He didn't do Infinity Wars.
No, the Russos. Let's see. Anthony Russo has also done Captain America Civil War, The Winter Soldier. Okay, so those are two movies I really enjoy, actually. I enjoy them.
Are they animated?
No. They're the Captain America Marvel movies. They're literally my favorite of the Marvel Universe movies.
So he's done other Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I like this better than Infinity War 2. This is probably, probably was amazing to see in the theater.
When did this come out?
It came out this year.
I'm surprised it's not a summer release.
I'm surprised it didn't do as well as an Infinity War, actually. I don't know why people didn't see it. I don't know. But it was great.
What, it didn't do good?
I don't think it did great. No. Let me see. Let's see.
It seems like it didn't get much of a push or something.
Let's see. Avengers Infinity War has an 8.8 on IMDB. And let's see what Ready Player One has.
I mean,
What do
they're
you
not
think it
even in
has?
the same league. One's utter nonsense, and one is 90% not nonsense.
7.7. It's got a 7.7 as compared to the 8.8 with the Xfinity War.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I agree. I like this movie is
What
better.
does Jaws have?
I think Jaws is in the top 250. Let's see.
But how could it be when kids under, however, and they don't know what that is? Who knows what Jaws is if you were born after whatever time?
That's true. I mean, I will tell you that the IMDb top 250 is got a lot of movies that don't deserve to be there because of the. This is just an 8 out of 10.
Jaws is 8 out of 10, but Infinity Wars is 8.8.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's rough. That is rough. So it might not even be on the top 250 of all time. That's why when you Yeah, it says it's number 235 of their top 250. Their number one, and has been the number one for a very long time, is Shawshank Redemption.
Number one movie?
On the IMDB top 250. Shawshank Redemption.
That's cool. It's good.
That's a great movie, a great film. Their number 2 is Godfather.
Definitely better than Shawshank.
The number 3, Godfather Part 2.
They should just be one. This is just one movie.
Now, number 4 is where the youngsters start creeping in. You have any guess?
Number 4, youngsters creeping in. No.
The Dark Knight.
Oh, that's terrible. That's what? What's wrong with people?
It's number 4.
How is that even possible?
Right after the Godfather movies. That's what I'm saying. This list is a bit absurd, and I used to be really invested in this list, but then when you have The Dark Knight as number 4, it's a really good movie. It's not even my favorite Christopher Nolan movie.
What's Casablanca? What's Clockwork Orange?
Casablanca is 37. 37. Clockwork Orange is... The Shining is 60. Wall-E 62. The Dark Knight Rises 66. Citizen Kane 72. See, this is where I have to defer to the AFI list as being a much better list, more accurate. A Clockwork Orange, number 86.
How about Blade Runner?
Blade Runner is probably in the 200s, unfortunately. And that's why I was so invested in this list, was Blade Runner. Because it is my favorite movie. But, and I started to see that, this list is so all over the place.
What? You just vote? Anyone can vote?
If you join the website, you can vote, yeah.
That sounds like a good criteria.
I mean, I guess it's the top 250 according to IMDB voters.
How about you have some fucking... how about if you're going to be a voter, you have to have seen a certain amount of old classics as well as the new ones. How about you round your shit out before you fucking make a decision?
Yeah. Jaws is 235. The Bourne Ultimatum is 236. So, I mean... Wizard of Oz, 232. Groundhog Day, 230.
Absurd.
So it's, I mean, I just
useless.
It's a crazy list that
Rotten Tomatoes is useless too.
Rotten Tomatoes used to not be useless, but now it is abundantly clear to me that they are being paid handsomely to push movies, in one direction or another. Gotti, for instance, people are going to see it, and they don't hate it. They think it's fun, or it's campy, or it's something you can yell at the screen with your friends or whatever. But they're certainly not a 0. But I feel like the fix is in for that with Rotten Tomatoes and the critics. And I hope that, it's only a $10 million movie. It's not like it's a $100 million blockbuster. It's a $10 million independent film. So I have a real problem with the 0%. I mean, I might not love it. I might give it a 6. What?
What is it called?
Gotti.
Just Gotti?
Yeah.
They didn't already make a movie called Gotti?
I guess they did, but this is just called Gotti.
Interesting.
It is interesting. So, I mean, if it was playing around here, I would I would probably support it and give them my $6 just as a fuck you to the establishment, whether I liked it or not. I'm not a big fan of that shit, and that's kind of, it's kind of like the shit that was going on in Ready Player One.
Yeah, Control.
They were controlling other people's avatars.
Who directed Gotti?
One of the kids from Entourage.
Oh, right, okay.
Kevin Connolly, I believe his name is.
Right, okay.
I mean, I feel like it was probably a labor of love for everybody or almost everybody who was involved. And
that's weird.
They pissed somebody off. And the establishment machine just went into hyperdrive to squash it.
Strange.
I mean, there are fine actors in it. You think what you might about John Travolta. He is an actor. He is a real actor. He can act. His wife is in it. Stacy Keach is in it. So, I mean, there are some real name people in there. And I feel like all of those critics are really trying to just squash.
I'd have to see it, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now it's just like, well, is it that bad or is it not that bad? Well, maybe $6 and a bucket of popcorn will help me decide. I know we've seen worse movies in the theater.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just one off the top of my head was Random Hearts. That was such a terrible movie. But anyway, it sticks with me because it's so
Hearts.
bad.
I don't even remember it.
It was with Indiana Jones. It was terrible.
How about
terrible romantic comedies?
What was it? Double Jeopardy? Double Murder? Some bad movie with the Judd in it?
Oh, yeah.
That was about the worst I've ever seen.
That was a remake.
That shouldn't have been made ever again.
I don't remember it fondly at all. Actually, I don't remember it either way, so it probably was...
No, it was bad.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't... That was another remake from a classic from the 40s, I think. With Barbara Stanwyck, I believe, is in the first one.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled that out, and maybe it's even wrong.
Does she have offspring that's became actors?
Barbara Stanwyck?
Yeah.
I don't know. She might have. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know much about her.
She was also in is it Big Valley? One of the...
Oh. She was the matriarch of the family,
yes.
The mother?
I think... Is it Big Valley?
I know what you're talking about.
One
Either
of
Big
those
Valley
Western...
or the other one.
Well, it wasn't Bonanza.
Then it's Big Valley.
Yeah.
Big Valley also has Steve Austin in it. I mean, Lee Majors.
No, isn't he? I think he's from Bonanza.
Is that... Wait,
which is the one with Lauren Green?
I think that's Bonanza.
Yeah, so he's one of his sons.
So...
Oh, no, that's Michael Landon.
I think Michael Landon also.
Michael Landon is one of the sons in Bonanza.
So, Lee Majors and Michael Landon weren't in the same show?
No. Pernell Roberts and
Lee Majors is in Big Valley with the chick you're talking with Stanwyck.
Barbara Stanwyck. Okay. Was there one more too? I'm thinking there was one more. Bonanza, Big Valley, and...
I think there's definitely another one we're forgetting. I just can't remember.
Gunsmoke. That's what we were missing. Wait a second. Is Gunsmoke?
No. Gunsmoke is the one with the tower. No, that's F Troop.
Gunsmoke. You're talking about F Troop. Gunsmoke says...
Who started that
James Arness portrayed his Matt Dillon character for 20 consecutive years. Right, okay. Gunsmoke, and then Bonanza, Maverick, Rawhide, Have Gun Will Travel, Big Valley.
It's just those two that we're thinking of then.
I think it's Big Valley, Gunsmoke, and Bonanza.
Interesting.
I think Gunsmoke started as a radio show. Like,
really?
That's how long it was around. Yeah, cowboys and Indians was like a huge thing forever.
Yeah.
I mean, because I guess, and it was also, fairly new in history. Well, there you go.
And then they just continued the tradition into space with Star Wars.
Yeah, Gunsmoke in space. The Big Valley in space. But that happened first with, I think...
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
That was kind of like a cowboy family in space.
Yeah. Space 1999, Star Trek, 2001 A Space Odyssey. Those all opened the door for Star Wars.
What was the first family in space?
In a movie or in a show?
TV show.
It's got to be Lost in Space, no?
I guess so.
I would say Lost in Space was first, and then came like My Favorite Martian.
Yeah. But that was based on Earth.
That was based on Earth, but it was still...
I guess Lost in Space is really the only one.
Lost in Space.
Star Trek.
The Jetsons.
Right.
What came first, Lost in Space or the Jetsons?
Probably around the same time.
Yeah. The Jetsons were just the Flintstones in space. Well, actually, they were on Earth though. They were just space aged.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. With Rosie.
Did they remake the Jetsons with Rosie O'Donnell? Was that what happened?
They remade the Flintstones with Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think she played Betty.
Ugh.
In one of them. I don't think in all of them.
Who played Wilma?
I think it was that lady. I want to say it was Elizabeth Perkins.
Who's she again?
She is a pretty brown-haired, brown-eyed actress. She the one who was in Ragtime? No, that was somebody else, maybe.
Huh.
I think you'd know her if you saw her.
Yeah.
I remember she was on Letterman years and years and years ago, and he didn't say Perkins, he said Perkins.
Perkins?
Yeah, Elizabeth Perkins, he said. And so now whenever I think of her, I think of that moment in time from 1980 whatever.
Perkins.
Because he said Perkins. It's weird the shit that
Paprika.
sticks with you. What?
Paprika.
Paprika. Michael Savage doesn't say paprika, he says paprika, which is hysterical. And now I say paprika around the house. Dave, do you want me to put paprika on this? All right. I think we're done for today.
Paprika.
Was there any other thing you wanted to mention? What's in Dave's turntable?
No, wait, now hold on. There was something I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Huh?
What's on my turntable?
Yeah.
Art Blakey.
Art Blakey.
Art motherfucking Blakey.
Art motherfucking Blakey.
From 1956.
What is it that you're listening to specifically?
I'm listening to his amazing drumming back in the 50s. And then I'm listening to him in the 80s. And I'm contrasting the difference.
Okay, but can you name the albums or the songs?
Shit, it's on YouTube. I can't name it right this second.
But the kids probably want to click on it. Okay.
It's an album I never owned, actually. It was, okay, so it's just, actually, I'm sorry. It's the first Jazz Messenger album. It's called The Jazz Messengers.
Okay, what year is that from?
I think it's 56.
The Jazz Messengers.
It is fucking really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good playing.
Is it standards or?
I think there's some standards on there, and there's some standard-like stuff, some originals that sound like standards.
Okay, and what are you listening to in the 80s?
There's more stuff, the same thing, just 30 years later.
The same band?
Nope, just same style, same style, just he's 30 years older.
And still great.
Yeah, more reserved. A little less chops, little less fire, but still really, really good. But the stuff from 1956 is fucking crazy. He's really good.
He's a beast, is he?
Yeah, he's just a very musical and unique player. Hard to describe, but he's just excellent.
Dave's a jazz cat. All right. Well, this concludes episode 7 of the Middle-Aged Cool Kids Super Terrific Podcast featuring your pals Dave and Shecky. You can visit our website at middleagedcoolkids.com. You can follow us on the Twitter at middleagedcool. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Sketcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. All of these places, Dave.
Amazing.
Available to the masses. If you want to get a message to Dave, either tweet at me or leave a message in the comments at YouTube, or you can send us an email at middleagedcoolkids@gmail.com, and I will get your message to him.
Hey, we still didn't listen to that song.
We still have not listened to the Young Lungs song. We will do that. I swear we'll do that. They have so many more followers than us. I don't think they care if we do or not.
Well, what the hell? Who cares?
Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. Next time, America.
Goodbye.